The entire thing is setting up for it to leak that he's leaving. All the Ole Miss fans that think they're taking over our stadium are going to be sorely disappointed that they're going to know before they even play the Egg Bowl. And it's setting up for y'all to lose the Egg Bowl. Maybe by a point, maybe at the last second, but it's setting up for y'all to lose, him to leave, and then my God, the stress of waiting the announcement from the College Football Playoff Committee at that point. Not only are you okay, we're probably not getting a home game now that we lost the Egg Bowl. Are you even in? Because your coach is gone now. It could happen. That
I
would
mean,
be worst case
that is the
scenario.
absolutely worst case. I'm going to just put this out here now. If we lose the Egg Bowl, everybody that is a part of this podcast, nothing but state fans, except for me.
Mhm.
I will be on Do Not Disturb. I will mute every one of y'all for 24 hours.
Welcome to the Rivalry Bros podcast, where the Bulldogs and Rebels clash off the field, and two friends, Scott and John, turn their school pride into all-out sports banter. From football to baseball, hoops to headlines, if it's Mississippi State versus Ole Miss, we're talking about it. John, we
Do you
are
enjoy
in
your bye week?
You know I did. How did you enjoy
I
yours?
did not.
You did
I
not
did
enjoy it.
not. I'm going to tell you this. So we are sitting at 10-1, projected to be 11-1 after this week. But last week was the most stressful week I have had all season. I had to dip out early last week. Sorry about that. Sick kids and all, parent comes first. But all Saturday, even Monday through Saturday, everything coming up to it was nothing about Lane Kiffin boards. What does he do? Is he go? He went to LSU. He didn't go to Gainesville. It was just circled around a big pile of crap going in, and Lane Kiffin was the center of it, and it aggravated the living crap out of me. Like, I am so over this. At this point, I would rather him go and be done with it, so we don't have to deal with his drama as bullcrap, and we can go hire John Sumlin because he wants to come to Ole Miss. So Auburn doesn't steal it. So it's one of those, dude. I don't know how I feel about this. I, honest to God, do not know how I feel about this situation because it's mixed emotions. I understand why he's doing it, but then again, I'm like, why are you doing it? So yeah, that's how my weekend went,
Yeah, I kept up with as much as I could and hunting. I got me a doe. I was very happy on opening day.
baby. I
But
saw it,
it's
baby.
such a odd coaching carousel in the first place in that so many jobs are open, but it's even more odd specifically around Lane Kiffin. I can't recall another coach that has not left his old job, not on the hot seat, but you have media members basically begging him to stay where he's at. You have College Game Day spending time like talking to him without talking to him directly. Like it's so weird on the national landscape to see the dynamics because essentially what you have is a lot of Ole Miss fans like yourself think he's gone, that it's a foregone
Well,
conclusion.
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say I think he's gone. I just said I am aggravated at this point. Do I want him? If I had to choose between Lane Kiffin staying, hypothetically him staying, John Sumlin coming in, or vice versa, another coach, I'm going to
Yeah.
choose Lane Kiffin. Timeout.
Well, right. He's
Let's
the
get that on the record,
most successful coach y'all have had. I mean, you're not going to push him out. And a lot of the stress last week that I would imagine Ole Miss fans felt was you went through the weekend before with all the rumors and everything, and then you end up
I
going through
thought.
the Florida game, and that was a
Yeah,
close game. And then you hear about, oh, well, he's meeting with Florida on Tuesday. And then out of that comes, well, his family flew to Gainesville and Baton Rouge on Sunday and Monday to look at houses. And then he meets with them on Tuesday. Then you're told, well, he's got a big meeting with the athletic director on Friday. So then everybody thinks, oh, okay. Maybe he'll sign the extension. Maybe this will be over and
No,
done with. And then you come out of that, and I mean, the Ole Miss AD put out a statement that essentially telegraphed that Kiffin's probably leaving. I mean, the statement was
man.
just don't even put out a statement at that point. I think he made it worse instead of better, in my opinion.
He made it more entertaining is what he did because Keith Carter's a troll. Let's look. Quote this on
Like
however
Lane.
you want to. Lane Kiffin's a troll. Keith Carter's a troll. Jimmy Sexton's the fat ass troll. That I mean, it's all a bunch of just. So, I listened to a podcast today, Locked On, and you remember back when Lane Kiffin was at FAU, right before he left, and he was doing this recruiting, and it was during one of the bowl games. He got this commercial. He was trying to make this 4 hour long commercial.
Hmm.
You remember all that?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he's doing the same thing right now. The goal is, and I somewhat believe Keith Carter. I know Jimmy Sexton's in it, but
Yeah.
Lane, it's all about media. It's all about okay, because he's got like 700,000 followers on X right now.
Well, let's
He's
be
trying to bump it to a
honest.
million.
Lane Kiffin has never missed an opportunity to make something about himself. I mean, that's just how he has always been everywhere he's been, and
All
he's
about the
doing the same
show.
thing now. The problem is, I don't know. I'm kind of like you. I don't know how I would react. I don't know what my emotions would be. We spent 9 years with Dan Mullen, and essentially 6 or
But y'all
7
ain't.
of those years, by the time we got to the Egg Bowl every year, he was interviewing for jobs and looking at houses just about every year during Egg Bowl week, and we knew he was looking for a way out. So
But it's
now you
not the
couple
same
that,
though.
but you couple that with y'all's best season in school history. You have a chance to host a playoff game. You could still make the SEC championship game, and all anybody's talking about is whether your coach is going to stay or leave. They're not talking about how good the season is. It's all about Lane Kiffin. And that to me is where the main problem is.
And it was funny, and this was what was weird about it. So that was all last week. We haven't even gotten to this week when he did his
Right.
when he did his conference, like his little interview thing he does, and you had like what, like 10 to 20 reporters there, and somebody asked him, just another reporter straight up asked him, so what are you doing? What's this job hunt look like? Are you staying? Are you going? And he
Yep.
avoided the question. It's like three of them. He's like, man, he avoided it. But
Oh yeah.
he looked awkward.
Because
He
he
looked
knows the answer. To me, they all know the answer. It's just a matter of getting to the point where he can say it out loud,
no.
in my opinion.
Everybody knows has an opinion. Nobody knows. I'm gonna revive what you said. Nobody has the answer but Lane Kiffin. Jimmy Sexton doesn't even have the answer. Only
I
person that
think
has the answer is Lane Kiffin, and he will change his mind on a dime.
he will, but I think at least part of it has been decided. I think he has decided that he's leaving, but if there is still a question, I think it's a matter of does he go to LSU or does he go to Florida? Because right now, you have LSU fans that think he's going to Florida, and you have Florida fans that think he's going to LSU, and you have state fans that think he's going to stay in Oxford. So no, you're right. Nobody knows what he's going to do at the end of the day but him. And I think it was Chris
And then
Lowe or
crazy.
one of the national reporters said he could literally say what he's doing and go to step on the plane and change his mind because that's
Mm-hmm.
how he is.
Exactly how
So
it is. And the crazy part is, it's not about money. All three contracts have been revealed.
they're all about the same.
They are the same. I mean, you're talking pennies on the dollar here, but you give or take 13 mil a year with a 25 mil NIL budget.
Yeah.
Ole Miss pulled that out. Like, we're matching a top notch Florida, who's got hella boosters. We're matching LSU, who's always had money diving into a football program. So that's showing to us that okay, look at that payroll we have. Look at
Right.
that money that's in there now, and so that's the kind of where I'm at. So if he wants to leave, let him go because we're established. We have established football program at this point now. So if you want to bring
Right.
in a young coach that wants to do his thing, or another big name coach, we're not going to take a step back. So regardless of the situation, Ole Miss will not take a downfall. We won't pull an Arkansas. We won't even pull a Florida and drop, below 6 wins. Or I mean, LSU struggled this season. You know, we're not. We
But
won't. We won't. We won't take that dip down.
I think overall you're partially correct. But one thing you forget about that happens when a coach leaves is who's going with him. You've seen these interviews with Lane Kiffin on McAfee and these others, and he's got Kawan Lacey with him in every one of them. And it's kind of weird at this point that he's putting him out there that much
But
on
that's
the
where the
interviews and
transfer
all.
portal is amazing.
Not for y'all, it ain't.
Well, it can be
It's
depending
good
on.
that y'all got him this year, but he's gonna. What would you do if him and Chambliss both left with Kiffin and went to LSU?
Well,
Then
Chambliss.
you would be in trouble.
Well, Chambliss is fighting that Diego is doing the same thing
Right.
that Diego did last year.
Right.
He's fighting for that extra eligibility. Does he get it? No. Not
Diego
everybody has
got
a
it.
Diego mom. I'm just saying. So not every, they do it for some people. They don't do it for everybody. It's not this. They don't just say, "Okay, we did it for one. We got to do it for the other."
Yeah.
That's not how this works. Uh, so Chambliss may not be off. I mean, you seem to forget we do have Austin Simmons,
Who has not played or been very good this year when he has played. I mean,
but
Chambliss was a D2 guy that took his spot, plain and simple.
Champ just because he played at D2, Chambliss was a dog regardless, and he was just a hidden gem that got stuck under a rock,
Well, that's
and they
true.
found him, and they found him.
But credit to Kiffin for playing the better talented quarterback, which
Definitely.
our coach cannot figure out.
Well, there's a difference between our old OC and our current head coach.
Right.
You know, Jeff Levy's still learning. And Kiffin just needs to stay off, social media and he'll be all right.
I think somebody told him to stay off social media because he has not tweeted
He
or
hasn't
anything in
really
days.
tweeted out, but he has been reposting stuff, but that's just natural.
But it's such a difference from how he was acting for the last week and a half, though. Somebody had to have told him. And then you have PR
It's not a
damage control right
somebody. Go ahead
now.
and say his name. You know who to say.
Glenn Boyce,
Jimmy Sexton is telling him to stay off social media.
well, possibly. And then
It's,
you got
it's not
the
a possible. It is
players.
true.
You've got the players putting out statements that they've never made before and leaving quotation marks attached to it that's clearly a copy and paste job. It's just all of it together is such a chaotic disaster in Oxford. I will say this, from a Mississippi State fan's perspective, I think we feel two things watching this. Okay. Number one, it's hilarious. Number two,
That's hilarious.
we dealt with a lot of the same crap with Dan Mullen every single season.
No.
So it's like, well, maybe not on this scale,
Okay, yeah.
but again, I say every Egg Bowl week he was interviewing for jobs. You had emails to the Tennessee athletic director the week of Egg Bowl where he was talking about coming to visit and everything, and then he ended up going to Florida. So we've dealt with it before, and so we're just kind of sitting back like, oh yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we know how it feels. But y'all's is so much more
Man, y'all are in
public
double
because of the
A.
situation y'all are in.
We are in the MLB. It's the same thing, but just a higher level. Just because, and the reason being is when Dan Mullen was at Mississippi State, you didn't have this NIL fund. You didn't have the transfer portal.
No, he lived off finding players like Chambliss and turning them into
Right.
top players.
Now it's and you had and if you brought a player in that wanted to say leave say Alabama to go to Mississippi State, he had to sit out a year. You don't have that now. So
True.
it is a different time. It's the same situation but different times. Back then, you didn't see a coach and say, "Okay, I'm gonna give you," unless your name was Nick Saban, 13 million a
Yeah.
year. You didn't
Well, and
see that.
I think that could be hurting y'all too because again, I think he's leaving. Let's say he does actually leave. The contracts, like you said, have all been made public of what's been offered to him. How are you gonna let Elaine how's Lane Kiffin gonna leave and any other coach come in and you offer him 2 or 3 million when he's sitting
We
there
would do
going, "Well,
that.
you just offered him." You know they're not gonna be on the same level as Kiffin, but they're gonna want a lot more, and I think you're gonna end up overpaying. I wouldn't pay John Sumrall 8 million a year. I wouldn't. State pays Jeff Lebby, I think, what, 3 or 4 million a year? And I think that's right in the good range for a first time head coach at a
But
big level.
see, this isn't John. So this would be his third term as a head coach.
Yeah. But first at a big school
I mean,
like this. I mean, he's done well at Tulane, but SEC's SEC. I mean, it's a different animal. So I don't
so
think you could walk in a John Sumrall and immediately go, "Hey, coach, we'll give you 30 million NIL and 10 million a year." I mean,
so
that's
right now,
severely
John Summerall
overpaying.
makes approximately 3 million a year at Tulane.
I think for him to come to Ole Miss, you could offer him 5 or 6.
I was going to say six. You throw him as like a 6.5,
Yeah, I wouldn't
and
go
then
much
you
more
give
than
him that
that.
same close to it, an NIL budget. I'm like, will he pull a 10-2 out, 11-1 his first year? Man, probably not. But
I don't
he,
know. He's a
I mean,
heck of a
he's a
coach
dog as a
now.
coach now. But I mean, stranger things has happened, man. I mean, that's this whole football season. Nobody expected us to be 10-1, number 7 in the playoff ranking right now.
Nobody expected us to be 5 and 6 right now.
Correct. Um, but it's all about. It's just you gotta be patient and wait about it. I guess that's the hardest thing about this Kiffin situation is be patient, and watch because it's gonna unfold itself. They can try to keep it packaged up and keep it bottled up and keep it away from everybody, but it's gonna
Did
come out.
did
It's
you
got a
see the
time limit.
rumor? Did you see the rumor that it may leak Friday morning before the Egg Bowl?
I saw it might leak Thursday or possibly Wednesday.
I said as soon as Keith Carter put that statement out, I didn't think it was going to make it to Saturday. It's going to come out before then.
I believe
And
so.
here's what the entire thing is setting up to do to y'all, okay? If you go back and look at the past Egg Bowls, the years that a coach has knowingly been looking to leave or potential to leave, okay? The team that had the distracted coach lost every Egg Bowl, okay? We had 2017 with Dan Mullen,
Yeah,
and we lost. 1998, I think, might have been Tommy Tuberville with y'all, and that's when he said,
I'm gonna
I'm not
stay.
leaving here unless they carry me out in a pine box, and then y'all lost
2 days
that
later,
game.
he's on a plane to Auburn.
Right. The history shows whenever one of us has distractions, the other team wins. And God, this is by far the biggest of any
Oh,
of those
those two don't hold a
situations.
candle to this one.
No, and you've had reports from Ole Miss uh beat writers and everything talk about how the players have openly been talking about how it is a distraction. It is bothering them. They're not happy. So what it's setting up for to me is I think it leaks sometime between now and the start of the Egg Bowl. And you're going to have an uproar going into the Egg Bowl. And you're going to have the sideline reporter asking Kiffin, coach, reports came that blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be a total disaster
At
crap
halftime.
show.
Oh God.
Now, whether y'all win or not, again, it depends on a lot of what we do at quarterback. But to me, the entire thing is setting up for it to leak that he's leaving. All the Ole Miss fans that think they're taking over our stadium are going to be sorely disappointed that they're going to know before they even play the Egg Bowl. And it's setting up for y'all to lose the Egg Bowl. Maybe by a point, maybe at the last second, but it's setting up for y'all to lose, him to leave, and then my God, the stress of waiting on the announcement from the college football playoff committee at that point, because not only are you okay, we're probably not getting a home game now that we lost the Egg Bowl. Are you even in? Because your coach is gone now. I mean, that it could happen. That
I
would
mean,
be worst case
that is the
scenario.
absolutely worst case. I'm going to just put this out here now. All right, if we lose the Egg Bowl, so everybody that is a part of this podcast, nothing but state fans, except for me. I will be on Do Not Disturb. I will mute every one of y'all for 24 hours, and you will not hear from me. It may be 48, depending on what all happens.
But here's the thing, I don't know. I think that State did have a chance to win the Egg Bowl without y'all being distracted in the first place. A very, very, very small chance because, again, like we said before, we are still the team that took Tennessee to overtime and Texas to overtime and beat Arizona State and lost to Florida on the last play. But the last 2 or 3 games, we have looked like last year's team. So can we revert back for one game and be competitive, especially with how distracted Ole Miss is? I would hope so. I mean, you would really hope you could. Um, but
That's the love
I
of this
feel
game,
much
though.
better.
All
I mean,
that you,
I'm
all that
working
you
during the Egg
said,
Bowl.
you throw it out the window. All everything we've done up to this point,
It is,
it's gone. Burnt. Set it on fire. It don't mean nothing.
but my point is when we just watched Ahmad Hardy run for 300 yards on us a week ago,
And that's the
and
number
we
two running
know
back.
and we know Kawan Lacey's coming in, the confidence is not very high. But, I'm working during the Egg Bowl. I'm gonna be watching on my iPad when I can, and I'm kinda glad that I'm working because if I wasn't, I would talk myself into going to this game. And whereas I was kinda like, "Ah, well, we're gonna get killed. It's not gonna matter. Whatever. Next year, Camario's the quarterback. I never have to see Blake Shapen put on a maroon and white uniform again, thank God." That was kinda my feeling. And now you've got all this with Lane Kiffin. Even up to Friday, I was still not very confident in the Egg Bowl. But the outcome of Friday's meeting with the AD and the fact that they are dragging it another week, like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, "Whoa, they're gonna let this go on a whole 'nother week? What in the world?" It was pretty shocking, and it's kinda changed my feelings about the Egg Bowl because there may not be a team that's ever been more distracted than Ole Miss going into this game, especially when you think your coach is probably leaving. You have to win this game on the road to host a playoff game. You really need to win the game to secure making the playoff, and you have to win the game to keep an outside shot of making the SEC championship. I mean, there is a lot to play for on the Ole Miss side, but again, nobody's talking about it because they're all talking about Lane Kiffin.
And y'all have, I mean, postseason to play for. So I mean, both sides
Right.
got a lot to play for. Y'all were striving for that Birmingham Bowl. Y'all were
At
striving
at
for
this
that.
point, at this point, I wouldn't care if it was the toilet bowl. What we're playing for is a young team who was going to have a new quarterback next year to get those extra practices.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important thing for us. We need the extra practice. We need Camario to have a longer off season of practice. I don't care about the bowl game. We need the practice. So that's what we're playing for. And just to show recruits in the portal and recruits in high school that, hey, we went 2-10, 6-6. We're going to a bowl game 1 year later, and we're trending upwards. I mean, regardless of if we win or not, at the end of the day, as a State fan, you can still be upset that some of the decisions Jeff Lebby made cost us, the Texas game, the Tennessee game, the Florida game. And you can see we should have had 8 or 9 wins. You can be upset about that and still acknowledge that we went from 2-10 to 5-7. I'm not happy about it. I
Still
want
a
those
jump
other
though.
I want those other 3 wins, but at the same time, having a little bit of perspective, that's hard to do. That's very hard to do. We beat a top 12 Arizona State team. We lost on the last play in Gainesville in the swamp when we should have won. We had a Tennessee game that people thought they were going to blow us out. They were favored by what, 15 to 18 points on the road,
I think more
and
than that.
we took them to overtime and should have won that. And then Texas, who's the darling of the media, I mean, we had a 17-point lead twice in the fourth quarter and blew it and took them to overtime. So perspective wise, whether we win the Egg Bowl and go to a bowl game or not, there is still a lot trending upward that, I'm not completely sold on Jeff Levy yet because of the quarterback issue where it seems like he can't make a easy decision that's right in front of his face. But I can still acknowledge, holy crap, we went from 2-10 with the absolute worst defense in the country to 5-7 in the SEC. That's hard to do. Next year's schedule looks this way. We're going to have Kamario Taylor. We're going to have Fluff Bothwell. We are likely, I mean, we're on the edge of having two, not one, two 1,000-yard receivers this season in the same season. There's only been like three in the history of our school, and we're about to have two in the same season. So we can get portal wide receivers. We're going to get portal linemen. We've got a lot of NIL money that
Definitely.
came in this year.
That's what I'd spend your NIL money on is
So
offensive line.
from our side, there's a lot to be happy about whether we win the Egg Bowl or not. But obviously, you want to win the Egg Bowl, and that will just catapult recruiting and the feeling for Jeff Levy going into next year even more. Because right now, it's kind of what have you done for me lately? We look terrible against Georgia, terrible
Yeah.
against Missouri.
Yeah.
If we come out Friday with all the distractions y'all have, and we get our doors blown off on our field in the Egg Bowl, or it's not even competitive, or we blow a huge lead like we have the other games, man, Jeff Levy's going to have a really tough time going into next season because there will be zero excitement at all.
They already got the mat. Y'all going to light going and put his seat on fire a little bit. Light that match
No doubt.
and
He's
get it warm a
well,
little
and
bit.
at the same time, you still have to look at it and say, okay, we went 2-10, we went 5-7, but in the SEC, you've won one game in 2 years.
Definitely. I
That's
mean,
not
good,
going.
solid point.
Nay, and this is the other side of the perspective. Let's say we lose the Egg Bowl. He plays Blake Shapen the whole time. Let's say Shapen throws a pick, and he does the same crap he's been doing between Shapen and Taylor all year, and we lose the Egg Bowl. What other school would accept one SEC win in 2 seasons?
Vanderbilt did it for a while.
That's Vanderbilt. We ain't no damn Vanderbilt. All right, so that's my point. Auburn wouldn't put up with it. LSU sure wouldn't. Y'all wouldn't.
Oh
I
no.
mean, at the end of the
Gosh,
day,
no.
if we lose the Egg Bowl, that's one SEC win in 2 seasons. So how can you be excited about that going into next season? It's going to be hard to, and then ticket sales will be down. You'll have opposing fans take over our stadium, like Texas and Tennessee did, like y'all are going to do. Um,
Y'all are making the
so
prices really high. I saw at game time. Somebody was selling tickets in the Ole Miss section, that
yeah.
corner, one of them corners, for over $3,000
That's
a
because all the
ticket.
Ole Miss fans want to see Lane Kiffin coach his last game, the most successful coach y'all have ever had. Now, the other flip side is Ole Miss fans on their message boards have been putting out a campaign. Oh, go buy all their tickets. Go, let's take over the stadium. Go buy all the tickets. So they may have raised the ticket prices because of that. And I would frankly
Not
be
three
proud of
thousand
that.
dollars though for a ticket. No, no, that is ridiculous.
I wouldn't pay $3,000 to watch Mississippi State in the national championship game. All right, it wouldn't happen. That's too much money,
I
especially
mean,
for the
for
Egg
a
Bowl.
ticket, you know what you can do at your house for three grand? Shoot.
I can watch it on TV and turn it off when it gets too ugly.
That's right. Preach. Um,
There's just a lot surrounding this game that has never
and I mean, there's still a
surrounded
scenario we
it
haven't
before.
talked about with Lane Kiffin. In
What,
all
him
reality,
staying?
and so, and truly, one of my, and this is, I've thought about it, is that if he does stay, only way he truly stays is if we win the Egg Bowl. Now we win that game, and then say we do, Alabama loses to Auburn, and Texas A&M loses to Texas, then we face Georgia in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Does that get him to stay?
I don't think it's about whether it gets him to stay. I think it's about would Ole Miss let him, because there's a lot of
Man,
talk
I
being that Ole Miss wouldn't let him coach in the playoff, even
he
if y'all did
also
win
said
and
he wouldn't
everything.
let. He also, if you remember, you love that with this quote too. Keith Carter also said he wouldn't let him coach the Egg Bowl if he didn't have a decision by a certain time. Well, he doesn't have a decision, and he's coaching the Egg Bowl. So
Yeah, but I think
it's
from a business standing, he's kind of. I think they have each other backed into a corner, honestly,
they're
because
trolling each other. They know it.
Ole Miss, if Lane Kiffin says I'm coaching this game, Ole Miss can't stop him without firing him, and if they fire him, they've got to pay his buyout,
Ugh,
and
I don't want to
they're
pay
not gonna
that.
do that. They're not gonna
No,
do that. So if he says I want to coach this game, Ole Miss essentially has to let him.
yeah,
All right. The other side of that coin is Keith Carter can give him an ultimatum, which I know Lane Kiffin went on the McAfee show and said that that didn't happen. That absolutely happened. First of all, that 100% happened. He's lying to you. All right. Keith Carter can give an ultimatum all he wants. But when they sit down and have that meeting and Lane Kiffin says, yeah, I'm planning on leaving, they agree to let him coach the Egg Bowl. Why? Well, if he comes out on Friday, this past Friday, and if that statement says, okay, we talked and Coach Kiffin's decided to go to LSU, blah, 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 there's no motivation for the Egg Bowl. As far as Ole Miss is concerned, the season's over and you
right.
ruin any chance you have. So that was never a possibility realistically of happening. You can't kill the momentum before you go even try to play the game. Now, we talked about the worst case scenario a few minutes ago, but I think there is an even worse case scenario for y'all. All
Oh
right.
boy, lay it on me.
You guys win the Egg Bowl. Okay.
Well, that's
And you
going to
go, well,
happen. So you're right.
how's that bad? Because he ends up staying, all right, to see if y'all make the SEC championship. No statement gets put out Saturday. All
Ooh,
right. Everybody's wondering again for a third week what happens. But guess what else is happening during that third week? John Summerall gets hired by Auburn. All right. So that's one possibility there. John Summerall goes to Auburn during that week, and then you guys don't make the SEC championship. And then Lane Kiffin says, hey, I'm going to LSU. Well, now you lost your coach and you missed out on your number one option. That would be the ultimate slap in the face by Lane Kiffin to the folks of Oxford,
that
Mississippi.
that would ruin a lot of Ole Miss fans, me included. I would be
I'm just saying
quietly
it
upset.
is 100% a possibility that that happens. It's already been weird. It could get even more
It could,
weird.
I mean, it could get really hairy. I mean, it's hairy now,
I
but
mean, think
it
about
could.
this: if you don't hire John Summerall, all right,
Who do
let's
we
say
hire?
Kiffin leaves. First of all, Kiffin's leaving. I just go ahead and tell you he's gone. But if John Summerall goes to Auburn, we just saw Eric Morris get hired from North Texas. He got hired at Oklahoma State today. That's a really good hire, in my opinion.
James Franklin's gone,
James
and
Franklin's
I
off the board.
believe
You
uh
essentially have one guy left, two guys. You
South
have
Florida.
Alex Golish from South Florida.
He's going to
Yes,
Arkansas, in my
not
opinion.
necessarily. Not necessarily. He should, but he may not be. Arkansas's having a tough coaching search right now.
So if I'm Ole Miss and you lose, Lane Kiffin's gone, and you lose John Summerall, to me, my number one candidate is Matt Campbell.
If he's looking to leave, he would have to be. He's got the
You
head
would,
coaching experience.
it
He's
would be
got
Matt
success.
Campbell now, and this is just if you want to hire a big name, that somebody that can recruit. and play the portal. And this is, I mean, I don't know if you're going to expect this one, but Ole Miss goes out and get Lincoln Riley.
I have heard different things on if he's interested in leaving USC. Whatever he's doing at USC is not working. I mean, that's
It's
pretty
not.
clear. So he may be looking to get out of that situation. But again, if you can't make it at USC with the resources, are you going to come into the SEC and have success?
Man,
I
he's
feel like
not
that'd
a
be tough to
defense.
do.
If but all these coaches we've named have been offensive. Every one of them can hold Pete Golding, personally, I take Pete Golding as a head coach, and then just wait for y'all to fire Jeff Levy and Pete Golding and Jeff Levy run it back. You know,
There there
let's
is
run it.
a there is a defensive coach out there that's looking to get into coaching again.
Why don't you say his name? Why don't
Y'all
you
will
say?
lose Lane Kiffin. He'll take your running back with him. You'll lose out on John Sumrall. And then your interviews will be between Gus Malzahn and Ed Orgeron.
I'd bring the bus on. Bring the bus on. That's
That
not who
wouldn't
I
be
was thinking, but
bad. That wouldn't be that
it,
bad.
it wouldn't be
Coach
because
O
that
can
really works
recruit,
into
man.
Austin Simmons. You know,
Well, as far as state
well,
goes,
what if it
Levy
was like
could be on the
this?
hot seat.
What if Pete Golding's your head coach and Gus comes in as your OC though?
I mean, he's the OC at Florida State. So,
But is Florida State a better OC job than Ole Miss right now? No.
well, do you want an OC that just went what? How many games Florida State win? Three or four
But they beat
this year?
Bama.
I mean,
That was sarcastic. That was
the first
troll.
week of the
That
season.
was
I
a, that
mean,
was that
I
was
get
a
it.
stab Bama. Huh. Um,
I'd be so mad if I was a Florida State fan. You beat Alabama, you've got all this momentum, and then you just
they
completely
won three
blow it.
games. Oh, they're
Awful, absolutely
literally.
awful.
We're not gonna get into Florida State, but I'm saying is they're not firing their coach just because everything's going on. I'm just getting that out the way. But we're not here
Yeah,
to
they're
talk
not
about Florida
firing their
State.
coach. That's crazy. I can't believe they're keeping him. I can't believe Wisconsin's keeping Luke Fickle. I can't believe Florida State's keeping Mike Norvell. So
Because
far, UNC hasn't said anything about Bill Belichick. Does
it's
he end
because
up
of
getting
what's
another
all
year?
available. What's everything's available right now? Those guys wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man.
This is one of those once in a life, once every 10, 15 years coaching, councils.
You know who the candidates are for North Texas now that Eric Morris left?
Charlie West Jr., please.
Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze, like all the
Oh
all the coaches that
God.
have been fired.
Oh, I've already said when Hugh Freeze is going to take Tulane.
You think so?
That'd be a good fit.
I
Good
don't
fit.
know. I could see Hugh Freeze being grandpa and retiring and being done.
No,
Him,
he's
Brian Kelly, they're up there. They could just go to the house.
well. Brian
But
Kelly, no. Brian Kelly is going to end up because remember you still got Oregon State available. Cal just
yeah.
came available.
Well, and that coach at Cal's a good coach. Now,
Yeah, but I'm
Cal's
just
a
saying,
tough
Brian Kelly
place.
go out to Cal and ball.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it is Egg Bowl week, and man, again, so much around the coaching situation. You know, there it's hard to spend too much time on the actual game because y'all are completely distracted.
Y'all gonna lose
We've been
regardless.
playing we've been playing terrible football the last several weeks. The biggest storyline on our side of the game is what does Jeff Lebby do at quarterback? I mean, it's pretty confident he's going to start Blake Shapen.
I heard y'all are
Unfortunately,
starting Taylor.
boy, if we did, I would be happy, but I'd be upset because I'd be going, why are you starting him 4 weeks too late, Jeff Lebby? If you started Taylor, the exact same thing that happened going into the Missouri game is what I said I didn't want to happen. I don't want to start Blake Shapen. The offense be dead. You're down 20 points, and then he says, "Okay, Camario, your time." And then Camario immediately goes in and scores touchdowns because then it's too late. And that's exactly what happened in the Missouri game. You can't let that happen. I would rather start Taylor, keep it competitive, keep it close, and maybe it's a one-score game at the end of the game, and you say Shape and go get us, go score and tie the game or whatever. That makes more sense to me.
But
But
dude, it don't matter who starts a quarterback. Keywan Lacey's going to put 400 yards on y'all. Because
I
if the
don't care.
number two running back puts three, the number one running back is going to put 3.5, almost four.
Let me tell you something. If I could watch the game in Super Sim mode, like I play NCAA on,
Because you're hard.
I'm gonna watch all offense. I'm even gonna watch the defense. I don't care. I don't care. They're that bad. I don't want to watch it. Oh, I mean,
You kind of cut
it
out there.
happens. I was just saying I don't want to even watch the defense play because I know what's gonna happen.
I
I
mean,
just saw it last Saturday
speaking of
night.
y'all's defense, this is how bad y'all's rushing defense is. Y'all give up 190 yards a game. That's 121st in the country.
But it's still better than last year.
Oh, I mean, not by much, but it's an improvement. Y'all give up just over 28 points a game. That's 95th in the country. There's only one stat that y'all are better than us. Can you tell me what that is?
Turnovers.
Our turnover margin is 97th in the country at a -3. Y'all are 39th in the country with a +3.
I think we
So
were going into I think we were going into the Georgia game, and our defense had still gotten at least one interception in every single game this season. It had, if we, it, I think we broke it. 'Cause we didn't have an interception against Missouri. I know we may have. I don't remember if we had one against Georgia. I think the Georgia game ended the streak, but going into Georgia, I mean, that's what, week 9, 10, and our defense had an interception every single game. That's hard to do.
I tell you, I give you my favorite stat. Even though our offense is top notch, our defense is subpar. My favorite stat in this whole of all of this is Mississippi State is 75th in the defensive third down percentage.
Mhm.
Opponents convert 39.5%.
That's terrible.
Ole Miss is 24th, and we convert 46% of the time. So
So what I'm
I think
hearing is third down is going to be the most important play in the Egg Bowl.
that's going to be a lot of it.
Well, if
Um,
y'all give it to Lacey, you'll probably get that third down.
oh
So,
man, Keywan's going to be busting 30 to 40-yard runs on y'all all game long. As
yeah,
long as we don't
unfortunately.
shoot ourselves in the foot and go on fourth down on our own on our side of the field, 4th and 16 or whatever it is. Basically,
Right.
I don't care if it's 4th and 2. We either kick the field goal or we punt.
Well, it just hit me. I do remember State getting an interception against Missouri. So as far as turnovers go, I'd have to go back and look. I think Georgia might have been one that we didn't, but maybe all but one game. We've had at least one interception, especially how bad our defense was last year. I mean, that's big time. But the problem is, once we get an interception, what do we do with it? I'm tired.
But
Like
y'all's
that's the
offense is stale as
frustrating
bread, huh?
thing. That's the frustrating thing is we may get a turnover, but then we come out and we go three and out, and we're punting the ball within 17 seconds of getting it back. I mean, when you go three and out and you've run 15 seconds off the clock, I mean, that's brutal. Do you know how many plays we ran against Missouri? How many offensive plays? Remember, we lost. I think it was 49-27. Okay, and we gave up 300 rushing yards. You know how many offensive plays we ran to score those 27 points?
32?
90.
Damn.
We ran 90 offensive plays and scored 27 points.
So
That's
y'all's the offense
pathetic.
was out there a lot.
Yeah, we
Y'all
were, but
offense
we
was
also didn't do
gassed.
anything.
They were
We also didn't
gassed.
do anything with it when they were out there. That's the problem, namely Blake Shapen. So I
I mean, I
I'm
hope he
excited.
starts.
I'm excited, but well, you're an Ole Miss fan, of course you do, because he's going to throw you the ball all day, or he's going to stand there and take sacks. I mean, either way, either way you look at it, either way you look at it, whether we win or lose, okay, I never have to see Blake Shapen at quarterback again.
Fair enough.
I mean that's something for me to be excited about for sure. And we may end up with a new defensive coordinator next year.
I'm
We'll
glad you
see.
got something positive to look at. Give me your score. Give me your final prediction. What do
Man,
you think? I want to now. Let
it's
me hear it
so
now. Let me
hard.
hear it.
It's so hard
Are
because
you
of
going to give Ole Miss
all
the victory or what?
it's so hard because of all the distractions that Ole Miss has right now. And coaches and players alike can say, "We're locked in, we're focused." You know, every night when those players go home and go to bed, they're scrolling Twitter and God knows what, and they're seeing all the talk. They're not they don't just get shut out from that stuff. They see it, whether coaches and players admit to it or not, it affects
You
them.
can't you can't keep him
And
off
right
social media. I
now,
don't care what you say.
in today's NIL world and portal world, you've got a lot of players on Ole Miss's roster right now that are going to bed every night this week wondering, am I going to be here next year? If my
Right?
coach ain't here, I may not be here. I may need to go look elsewhere. So, man, the distractions and all, that's not just something simple to take into effect. I mean, that takes a massive toll mentally. I don't have a lot of faith that we will stop Keywan Lacey from rushing the ball on us. But I do think Jeff Levy gets smart, and I do think he just throws the bag at Lane and Ole Miss in this one. And again, I go back to last year. Last year was one of the worst teams we have ever had on a football field. We were on the road in Oxford, and last year was one of y'all's best teams in school history. They were better than this year's team, supposed to be.
Statistically,
And
yes.
it was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, and y'all beat us by 12 points. And it was the worst team we've had in 20 years against one of y'all's best. This year
That's the
it's in
Egg Bowl for you.
Starkville. I know. This year it's in Starkville. You know, there's a lot of Ole Miss fans trying to buy up tickets. I don't know what our crowd will look like. There's not a lot of excitement on our side, but again, it's the Egg Bowl. If you can't get excited for the Egg Bowl, I don't care if you've won a game all year. If you can't get up for the Egg Bowl, don't even be a fan. This game
Agreed.
is fun every single season. The records don't matter. I mean, I'll say
You're
this:
stalling now. Give me the points.
if the stuff with Lane Kiffin was not happening, I would pick Ole Miss to win, 100%. I just think the distractions and based on history in this game, when distractions with coaches are involved, I've got State. I think State gets it done. I think Ole Miss is going to be pissed off at Lane. I think he's going to be one of the most hated people to ever leave Oxford. If he thought leaving Tennessee was bad, he ain't seen nothing yet when he leaves Oxford and how
Mm-mm.
he leaves y'all after losing the Egg Bowl, blowing a college football playoff chance at home. I mean, State's playing for a lot to ruin y'all's season and get to a bowl game for us and show that we belong again. I mean, that's a big deal on our side. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put my cap on State winning it based on the distractions that are happening.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be ugly. I'm like maybe 23-21 Mississippi State. I think it's going to be one ugly game.
On both
Uh,
sides.
yes, I think it's going to be just a slugfest of, not a slugfest, a sloth fest. I
Sloppy
think it's going
fest.
to be ugly. I think it's going to be ugly to watch. Not very high scoring. Um, I think State's defense again sell out to stop the run. Our secondary, I trust them against y'all's receivers. So can we get pressure and can we stop the run? That's going to be the key. I think our defense keeps us in it like they have most of the games this season. So I've got State. Yeah, I got State 23-21.
I think Keywan Lacey literally takes y'all's whole defense and drags them to the end zone. And
Well, of
we
course you do.
win. And we win 31-10. 31-10. Keywan scores at least 3 touchdowns. Um, and the only reason y'all got 10 points is because Jeff Levy puts in Taylor in the third quarter.
If we lose that game 31-10, there is absolutely no momentum or excitement or fundraising. Recruiting will be terrible. Going into next season will be tough, and Jeff Levy will be squarely
Hot seat.
on the hot seat. Squarely. The problem is, I could easily see both outcomes.
Very well. I mean,
I
look,
really
most
could.
scenarios, I've seen it. I've been watching
I
the
could
Egg Bowl
see
for 32 years, dude. Man,
I could see both outcomes, and I could see either one happening extremely easily. And that's the fun of the game. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, this is different than State playing Alabama every year like they have, and some games being close and some getting blown out. It truly is. It doesn't matter what you've done all year up to this game. Something happens within this game that just makes it crazy every single time.
crazy ass voodoo.
Lane will be having some voodoo on that sideline because that's where he's fixing to go. So,
We'll
but
see.
anyway, man, it's Egg Bowl week. I can't wait for Friday. You know, I won't put you on Do Not Disturb, but I may not respond if it goes sideways.
It just
And
depends on how it goes.
I'll say this: if it goes sideways for State, and if State's going to lose, I think we will know very quickly. Like within 10 minutes, like within the first quarter, I think we will know what's going to happen. So, but again, I say we may know what's happening with Lane, and then the players find that out. And oh boy, I'm just saying, y'all got a chance for it to be an ugly situation
Time
come
will
Friday
tell.
morning. So I can't wait for the show after the Egg Bowl. That's when all the magic's going to happen.
Definitely.
So, anyway, man, it's good to get back with you. Excited for Friday. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna be hunting on Saturday, so I won't have to listen to you brag or
Same
cry,
here.
depending on which way it goes. So, um,
I'll be in
but
the
thank y'all
woods.
for hanging out with us. Thanks for getting back with us, and like, subscribe, listen, send it to your friends. Let us know how we're doing. Leave a review, and we'll keep talking about it. Talk about State and Ole Miss every week. Well, after the Egg Bowl, we'll get into some playoffs if Ole Miss is still in it. Get into bowl games if State makes it, and then we'll start getting into some basketball season. Which right now we may not have a lot to talk about on the State side. So
It's looking pretty good.
we'll get to that. Some fun basketball games between State and Ole Miss every season too. So we'll have to get the Egg
Definitely.
Bowl on the hardwood going. So good to be with y'all. We'll be back next week. This is Rivalry Bros. Hell State.
High tide and go to hell, MSU.